All right, who has a 100-word summary of all the trouble you guys got into
They
in this terrible dungeon?
They poked another frickin' mummy lord.
No, wait, hold up. You set those mummies on fire, and that's why we're fighting a mummy lord. I will not sit here while you try to abdicate responsibility for this mummy burning.
I don't recall this. This didn't happen. Therefore, it didn't happen. So
there were also zombie mind flayers. That was exciting.
Right, there were zombie mind flayers. We went through a maze, and two people got trapped in a room, and we had a weird table monster that Adrex really, really liked.
Adrex is a good friend really at the table.
That's what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to draw the damn thing. I didn't write an entry this week because I literally could not remember what we did.
Adrex
if you draw one during the session and then upload it now during the session, that would be a great thing.
Adrex is going to invent a storytelling podcast, and he's going to call it Friends with the Table.
This table is friend-shaped.
So yeah, I mean, for the House of Torment, the torment is there, but it seems kind of low key.
The house is missing. You're right. Well, I mean, I guess it is house-like. It's just not very homey.
We've killed a lot of mummies, and then like this mummy lord, we just kind of disengaged from him and said, you know what, let's just go over here, and that's where we left the session.
Brickroad really wants to infect somebody with mummy rot, and 40% of our party is immune to the disease.
Lots of mummies, but no daddies.
On the other hand, he really enjoys us rolling, so he gets that.
He does get that. So yeah, that's actually a pretty succinct thing here.
Oh, also there could be like there's a fire lizard that employs tables. I think that's what the table called it, the angry fire lizard.
Yeah, that's what the table called it. Which I think might be related to the dragon that sent that little girl to her death.
That seems like a leap of faith. Why would those two things be connected?
IDK my BFF Jill.
Alright, so what is next? Mummy Lord has filled this room with horrible cave wasps, and you guys retreated over to the stone double doors here.
Are we still on the
behind
initiative?
you are these four cells, two of which have been broken out of, and none of which have been looked into yet. No, we're not on initiative at the moment.
Okay. Alright.
I'm a peek in the cell.
Which one?
That one.
This is the cell that one of those zombie lithids crawled out of. And looking against the back of the cell, you see along one side is a stone slab against the side wall that might serve as a bed for a prisoner here. There's a rusty tangle of chains coiled up beneath it that from one point held this stone slab onto the wall, but it's long ago come disconnected, and the slab itself is partially crumbled and collapsed. In the back of the room, you see a lot of metal debris.
Were we still on initiative, or did...
No, you're not. Pay attention.
Okay. Raazu's.
Let's investigate. That metal debris.
Looking at it, it looks like the long abandoned and decrepit metal leftovers from what once might have been torture devices. Saws and what have you. Considering you just fought a zombie elithid that was missing below the waist, you think you understand what happened to the other half of him now.
That's less than ideal for him.
Raazu is fishing around in her pack for a healing potion. Because I have, let's see, I have some lay on hands. I think I'm going to use 20 lay on hands.
You only have 2
Poultices.
hands. You're going to need, like, way more paladins to do 20 hands.
Okay, makes sense. So let's heal myself for 20, and then I'm going to chug a potion of healing. 2d4 plus 2. I think it's on my character sheet here. Yeah, 2d plus 5. Right. It's not, but Raazu is still bloodied.
What's that?
While they're looking at that, I'll go look at this cell over here.
Yeah,
Well, look
Raazu's-
Sense at this cell over here, I guess.
Wendy, what is your passive perception?
My passive perception is 19.
I have a 7 to hit you.
Oh no, that doesn't hit.
As you approach the bars, as you step forward and approach the bars, you become aware of like a shuffling movement sound. And you keep back about half a step, just as one of these zombie lithids throws itself against the bars with a crash. The tentacles coming off of the front of its face, whipping out along the bars, just barely unable to reach you. You almost just walked right into him. However, the bars of this cell are completely intact, and there is no way for him to slip through them. He's grasping out with both hands and whipping out with his face tentacles, but you smell the definite odor of decay and rot on this thing. This thing is absolutely undead.
Okay.
Yeah, Raazu steps back and shakes her head, says, "Yeah, let's not play with this."
Coming up to this last cell, you actually can't see inside of it at all because
Magical darkness.
there is a solid wall just on the other side of the bars. Solid brick wall. Most of the walls in this place are kind of a patchwork, where most of it looks like it was carved through the side of the mountain, and the places where it wasn't completely smooth or flat have been done up with brickwork to keep it all nice and uniform. This wall has been completely bricked up. You don't see any sign of this being a natural construction whatsoever.
Okay. If I come back over here, not standing within reach of the Zambo illithid.
Mm-hmm.
Anything? Shine the light in there. Can I see anything beyond the inside the cell?
Much like the first cell you looked at, you see the remains of what might have been a stone slab usable for a bed, or a dissection table. Some various metallic debris left over, the cloth and leather and wooden parts of which has long since rotted away.
Hey, I got a second level spell charge. Probably finish this thing off. What say you? Wendy?
Yep.
What say you? I've got some Osprum's breath in me. Should we finish this off?
Oh, the zombie you mean?
Yeah.
Birdie pantomimes fire.
Yeah, I don't see why we don't just fill it full of fire arrows, like Birdie is saying here. Like Birdie is gesturing here, anyway.
Well, here's like, how many of those do you have?
How many? Like, I can make them.
I've got plenty of fire, and I've got about
How many arrows
23
does
arrows.
Birdie have left?
Oh God, that's like 25.
Don't say like, give me an exact number, because you've been tracking them
25.
diligently, have you not?
Yeah, I have 25 left.
You have 25 left?
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah, I've
wearing,
got 23, so that checks out.
You're wearing 2 quivers?
I was.
Well, you still are, because each quiver holds 20.
Oh, I thought they hold 30. But yeah, no.
Here's what I do. Raazu nudges Windy aside.
Yeah.
Takes out her whip. 10-foot reach. And goes to attack the Illithid.
All right, roll initiative.
I'll help with this.
Wow. Raazu rolled an initiative. That is favorable today.
You rolled an initiative.
Yeah, it wasn't ass. Look how high up I am today. It's look how far up the list I am. It's me. I'm valid.
You've been validated.
I have.
So, Raazu, you're going to take a whip and whip this thing to death, and everybody else is going to
Well, wait, hold up. Hold up here, because Raazu didn't win initiative.
No. But I'm
No.
asking what's happening before the start of Windy's turn. Is the idea that Raazu is going to be attacking this thing from 10 feet away? And everybody else is kind of standing back?
No, because Raazu pushed Windy out of the way to pull her whip out, and Windy is going to whip this zombie after being shoved out of the way. Is that good if I do that?
If you want to do that on your turn.
Yeah.
You are standing 10 feet away from it, and you do not have the benefits of martial awareness because you're not standing inside of its reach.
That's fine.
And it's got half cover.
Uh-huh. It's an AC of zombie, though.
That's an AC of zombie illithid.
Here comes the ones. That's a 16 to hit.
16 will hit.
For 8 slashing, magical.
Okay.
And a 23 to hit.
That'll hit.
For 12 slashing, magical.
And moving or staying put?
I'm good here.
Red.
I'll just let them. I don't have a reach weapon. I don't feel like wasting arrows, so I'll just for my action, I will dodge.
You'll dodge. Okay. Birdie.
Birdie's going to just walk over here with Adrex and start poking at the wall, just kind of disinterestedly.
Start poking at the wall.
Yeah, just kind of with his foot.
Okay.
They got this. It's not like it can actually hurt them.
Can't wait for this to somehow hurt us. It's gonna be so exciting.
Raazu.
Raazu cracks her whip and hits an armor class of 16.
16 will hit.
And here comes that Paladin stank.
Here it comes.
Pretty middling, I would say. Oh yeah, I forgot to actually add the D4 on top of it. I'm taking this D4.
Thief.
5 slashing damage.
5 slashing damage?
21. Yeah, 21 thunder damage.
And the peal of thunder rings out and shakes dust off the walls. And moving or staying put?
Staying put.
I have to look something up real quick. Oh man, turning on my phone is scary because every time I turn it on, it's like extreme tornado alert. I'm like, all right, calm down. Yeah, that shit blares at you even if your ringers and everything's turned off, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, it's an extreme tornado alert. It's not like a suggestion.
Extreme tornado suggestion.
Hey.
Hey, listen.
All right, and yeah, you're staying put, Raazu? Sorry.
Yeah, staying put there.
Very good. Adrex.
Combat!
Combat?
Whip!
Okay. Everybody's got whips in this group. It's so weird. It's like Wacky Shack.
I mean,
Do rogues have whip proficiency? I don't think so.
No, whips and martial
It
arts.
is a 27 to hit.
That'll hit.
Whips are what, D4? Right, yeah.
D4.
4.
D4 plus friend damage.
6 damage.
For 6 damage? Okay.
Yeah. Second attack. Another 27. 4. 7 damage.
Okay. This thing
Third attack.
bloodied.
Should have held off my spell charge until we get to the point where
20.
do the Zambo thing.
20 will hit.
4. 6 damage.
Okay.
And it just goes, huh. Just looks at his weapon and says,
It's covered in zombie illithid driblins now.
like fish in a barrel, really. It's
Basically,
into Adrex's
but
turn.
I'd rather
Birdie.
not leave this thing sitting about.
I have a 16 to hit you.
That will not hit me.
Okay.
And yikes.
Do you have the thing that lets you scooch back?
I do.
Birdie, I have a 10 to hit you.
No.
Birdie, I have a 9 to hit you.
No.
Birdie, I have a... Ooh, that'll do it. 21 to hit you.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Birdie, I have a 18 to hit you.
That'll do it.
Birdie, I have a 14 to hit you.
That will not do it.
That will not do it. Very suddenly, you're sitting here poking this wall, and seemingly out of nowhere, you start hearing a low groaning sound. Voices intermingling, these anguished, pained voices asking for help. And as you're poking this wall, with what, by the way? Your dagger?
His foot.
I was just kicking it.
You're kicking it. Kicking is
Yeah.
much different from poking.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I was poking it with the tip of my foot.
But that's like a light kick. Suddenly, a flurry of weapons materializes and starts slashing out at you, swords and spears. One arrow is fired from the top of the wall down at you. 2 arrows are actually fired at you. One of them misses and clatters to the ground and he just ceases to exist. The other one strikes you for 4 piercing damage. And then finally, the sizzle of a firebolt comes whizzing out of the wall. That's big damage. 27 fire damage. As this thing crashes into the side of you, engulfs part of your cloak and your pack, and you're padding it out. And you see these swords and spears retreating back into the wall. And then I need everybody that's not Birdie to make an intelligence saving throw.
Is it against magic or a spell?
It's against... This is always an edge case for me because it's against psionics. Yeah, we'll say it's against magic. I'm
Plus
comfortable
5 to
saying
everyone
psionics is
around Raazu.
magic. I wouldn't be in 2nd edition, you understand.
It's a spell-like
Obviously.
effect.
Is red within 5
Not
feet
in
of
2nd
or
edition,
10
it's
feet?
not. Red is...
Which square are you in? This one?
Yeah, you're within 10
Looks
feet
like-
if you're
looks
here.
Like,
Yeah,
looks
then
like
yeah, I'm within 10 feet if you're in that square.
Okay.
As a +5, Raazu?
Yes, +5.
You guys are looking for a
16.
15.
16.
22.
Bang, bang, bang.
Windy fails.
Okay, Raazu?
Pass.
Pass. So only Windy fails.
Even Windy must fail sometimes.
Windy, 21 points of psychic damage.
Mm.
And you were stunned for 1 minute.
Oh, that's not fair.
As this illithid,
That condition shouldn't be in this game.
even if it's... Do you just want to retcon it and say there's no such thing as stunned anymore? This illithid, even if it's in its advanced state of decay, still retains some seed of its psionic abilities. And you feel waves of this violent energy spill over you. And Windy, it hits you the hardest, and your body just becomes stunned. And you know what stunned means, right?
Yeah, I speak only haltingly. I don't remember it having any other effects.
You are incapacitated, you cannot move, you fail strength and dex saving throws. Attack rolls against you have advantage.
Oof.
And after this happens, the thing, it's pressed completely up against the bars, reaching out with its hands and tentacles. And that's going to bring us to... Actually, what are passive perceptions on Adrex and Raazu?
11.
11.
Okay. It's going to bring us back to Windy.
Well, I'm stunned.
Stunned.
I don't think
Stunned for...
there's literally anything I can do.
You can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns.
Oh, that sounds good. You didn't tell me that.
Well, it wasn't the end of your turn yet. Now it is.
Oh, I love this knowledge.
You get +5 to it.
Yeah, that's a 21.
And after a few moments of just these waves of terrible psychic energy ravaging across your brainscape, you manage to shrug it off and come to. Although you still feel a little woozy. It's going to bring us to Red.
Ready in action to shoot the zombie when one of my companions moves adjacent to it.
Okay.
For movement, I'll move to there. Can I see what attacks Birdie from here?
Oh yeah, you can see and hear it because it's not. I mean, you can't hear the moaning and things. Only Birdie's close enough to hear that. But you heard Birdie shuffling in place, and you heard the weapons clattering against the side of the wall, and you heard this, and saw the bright flash of the firebolt sing out as well.
Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and give let's give Raazu advantage on our next attack against the zombie.
All right, that's gonna bring us to Birdie.
Well, I went from mildly fine to almost dead in one turn, so I'm just going to... I'm going to get, like, right here. And kind of, like...
To be clear, you're talking about this space here, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to, like, not be within sight of the wall. And
Well, you're definitely
also
within
not...
sight of the wall right here, because it's right around the corner from you.
Okay, well, I'll move here. This is not within reach of the Illithid, is it?
No, you're not within reach of the Illithid unless you're right up against the bars.
Oh, okay.
You got a 5-foot reach.
That's
Alright.
why all of us are going at this thing with whips.
And I'm going to... Let's see. I don't have any... I do have one, but I'll save it. I'm going to just dodge, I guess.
Dodge? Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to bring us to Raazu.
I'm gonna take another swing at the Illithid.
Okay.
Another couple of swings at the Illithid, that is. Does a 20... No, I'm sorry. A 19 hit.
19 will hit.
7 damage. 7 slashing damage.
Very good.
And second hit. Hit for 5 slashing.
And you continue to whip this thing. And you're just whipping great welts in its flesh with every attack. And it gives seemingly no notice. The thing does not feel pain. Moving or staying put?
Staying put. Actually, I should have rolled that first attack at advantage. Oh, well.
Adrex.
Never mind.
That's me.
That is you.
Adrex
This
actually said
clatters.
that as he's about to whip this zombie.
Okay.
This zombie Illithid. That is a 13 to hit.
13 will not hit.
What?
A 13 will not hit.
Are you sure about that?
Its AC
There
is
is
higher
no
than
appeal.
13.
There is no appeal.
Can we go to arbitration about this?
We could, but I mean, I'm also the arbitrator, so
It's actually mandatory arbitration.
How about a 23?
23 will do it.
23 will do it. Excellent.
Yeah.
For
Let's appeal to the
8 damage.
8 damage. And with that whip strike, the Illithid crumples to the ground and stops moving. So it can rot
Okay.
away in peace.
And Adrex turns to Birdie and says, "What did you do?"
Birdie flips Adrex off. Gotta make
Don't make me go Raazu on your ass.
I gotta make good use of my limited sign language.
So
No,
what's
Birdie,
next? We can come off initiative for the time being.
Birdie, I'm with him. None of us have been attacked by a wall.
Yeah, what?
I'll just put that on my resume. Attacked by wall.
Raazu starts walking over this way.
And you see the brick wall that just attacked Birdie.
I'm gonna fire my arrow that I had on and ready to shoot the zombie through the wall. See if it hits the wall or gets on through.
So you're shooting the wall over here, is that correct?
Yeah.
Over here? Okay.
Yep.
Red, I have an 18 to hit you.
I believe that hits.
And I have a 16 to hit you.
Nope.
And I have an 11 to hit you.
Nope.
You see a flurry of swords and spears slash outward at the wall, the position where the arrow struck. 2 arrows come singing directly out of the brickwork. You definitely avoid them, but what you manage to not avoid is the firebolt. 18 points of fire damage as this firebolt comes zipping through the wall at the place where your arrow struck.
I'm gonna uncanny that.
I would.
Oh, I forgot about that. Shoot.
Wendy raises a second talon.
Looking
2
at
of
the
us.
wall, Raazu, you see most closely because most well because you're standing closest. Red's arrow is stuck in the wall, and I don't mean it found like a weak point in the mortar between the bricks. I mean it looks like this arrow punctured the wall as though it were flesh.
Raazu lets out a very long, world-weary sigh and says, "Do we find we found the bridge mimic? Did we find the wall mimic too?"
The wall stands stoically and does not answer your sarcastic question.
I hate to say it, guys, but I feel like we should deal with this wall.
Should
Raazu
we?
is a little bit offended by this thing's existence.
Is there a way to open these bars?
There does not appear to be, no.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
no like cell door or anything like that.
There's not a cell door. You don't see any hinges. If Birdie was not carrying his equipment and maybe you greased him up, he might be able to slip through in between them. But other than that, it doesn't look like there's any way into this cell.
We're not greasing.
Can I do an investigate to see if there's like any mechanical mechanism to like raise or lower the bars that might be elsewhere?
You can, but you see no evidence of any such structure.
Okay.
Raazu, maybe I could try and widen the bars by just good old-fashioned brute strength. Adrex, you want to give me a hand with this?
That looks possible.
Or maybe-
In fact, there's a lot of evidence that the other 2 cells, that's exactly what did happen.
Yeah, Adrex, maybe you should take the lead on this because you have the better bonus to strength than I do.
That sounds like a great idea. What am I doing?
Strength at advantage, I would assume.
Roll strength. Got it. I don't even know what we're doing.
Strength athletics. And you can roll
Even better.
because you and Raazu are working together.
Yeah.
Raazu
Even
just kind
better.
of puts Adrix's hands on the bars and just goes, pull this.
Oh.
That is a... Yes, it is. Strength athletics.
Strength athletics.
Plus 10, 26.
Okay. And it's not that difficult. The bars are sturdy, but they're also very old. They're weak in places. Some places they've been rusted through. And you pull so hard against one of these bars that it comes loose from its socket. And with some work, you manage to actually work it out from the iron casing that holds it. Throw it to the side.
Adrex looks really pleased with himself.
And now anybody
Good
will
job,
be able to
Adrex.
squeeze into here.
Go ahead and
Oh,
slide in.
there goes the neighborhood.
You step over the body of the zombie elithid laying on the floor, and behind it the cell looks pretty much like the other 2. Got a stone slab on the side that might have served as a bed, and a variety of decayed and useless now leftover metal implements which were once weapons or torture devices.
So, Brick, when Red shot the arrow
Mhm.
at the wall, did it look like there was like it just got fired back directly at where he came from? Like, did it look like it was fired at Red, or did it look like it was fired from where the arrow came
It
from?
was definitely fired at Red.
Okay.
That much is very clear. And there's no arrow laying on the ground where Red was standing, even though both of them missed him. You heard
Huh.
the clatter of the arrow after Red had dodged, and you heard a loud oof after he got hit with a firebolt. But going over to that area now, there's no arrow laying on the ground, nothing in the wall. Red's arrow is still poking out of the wall as though sticking out of a body.
Did we see, or rather, did I see the movement of air as Red got shot with that arrow?
As far as you can tell, a brick wall just fired an arrow at Red.
Okay. I was wondering if he maybe got attacked psychically.
Well, part
But
of
maybe
Red's
maybe it
clothes
affected me
and
as well.
equipment is now burned and slightly on fire.
Okay.
So it's whatever it was definitely not psychic.
It was not a ruse. Alright.
And Birdie is also very severely damaged from the attacks.
And Adrex just shouts at the wall, "Are you sentient?"
And after a moment, the echo of Adrex's yelling fades away.
Alright, move out of the way, Adrex. Because I'm curious as to how these arrows work.
Sapient would also work.
You too, Red. Back up. And I'm going to key point to dodge and then huck a rock at the wall.
Just find a rock.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't need to roll at disadvantage against you.
Nope. Let me know if it's the second arrow coming at me, because I'm going to willingly fail that if I didn't get hit with the first arrow.
Alright, we got lots of stuff where you gotta worry about arrows. I've got a 14 to hit.
No.
I have a 13 to hit.
No.
I have a 17 to hit.
No.
I have a 19 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay. I have an 18 to hit.
Nope.
And I've got a 10 to hit.
Nope.
Actually, I shouldn't have rolled some of those because there's swords and spears that can't even reach you from where you are. And you become aware of the air being cut in front of you by sword slashes. A firebolt comes singing from the wall. 18 points of fire damage. And you're also aware of 2 arrows zipping past you.
Alright, the second arrow, I wanted to willingly fail my AC on that. Because the whole point of this is I'm trying to catch that arrow.
You can't really willingly fail AC. Especially if you're dodging. I'll allow you to jump in the path of the arrow.
Yeah.
Okay. In which case I need to roll some damage on that.
Yep.
4 points of piercing damage.
And I'll catch the arrow.
Okay, so you're using your thing to reduce that by 4.
Uh-huh.
And you leap into the path of the arrow. And your hand jerks out to grab it out of the air. And you don't feel the impact of the arrow in your chest. But you're not holding anything. There was nothing to grab. The rest of you watching, you saw these arrows sing out at Wendy. One of them ruffled past her cloak. The other one she jumps in the path of, snatches it out of the air, and no sooner does she get her fingers around it that the shaft disappears.
And I'll just kind of, show that to you guys. It's like, I didn't... Did it feel like I even, touched it? Or did it, literally instantly disappear?
It's very difficult to say.
Yeah.
In the split set, all you know is you did not get pierced by this arrow, and if it was an arrow, you should be holding it right now. I guess if I was a severe dick, I would let you throw it back and then make that attack trigger 6 attacks. And then now we're in a feedback loop of bullshit.
Uh-huh.
Well, someone would run out of reactions eventually.
Is this just the corner? It's not a passage?
That's just the corner of the room, yes. The room has 2 exits that you're aware of. The one up where the Mummy Lord is. Which, by this point, the sound of the wasps and buzzing has subsided. And the double doors, which you guys have not gone through yet.
So aside from the corpses of the Illithid zombies, what else is in this room?
There is a stone slab, which at one point might have served for a prisoner's bed. And you find the useless metallic remains of what were once tools, weapons, and torture implements in this room. Now almost completely dissolved by rust.
I think we should head back to the door at this point. I don't know that attacking the wall is really worth any amount of time or effort.
Yeah.
It's not hurting anyone that doesn't attack it, and I don't really think No, there's no Moakton children aren't going to wander down here.
The wall actually said something to me, didn't it? It asked for help.
Nothing specific. It was pained and anguished moaning and cries for help.
Babbling.
Yeah.
The wall over there, the floor over here that we're stepping on.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Birdie just kind of like tap the wall a little bit with his foot.
All Birdie did was kick it with his foot. All
right, then I'm gonna sit down at the floor over here, and I'm gonna chisel the word "danger," and then an arrow pointing at the wall.
Okay.
Well, for all those literate Moakton children.
100 years from now, a reckless knight named Dan Gurr is gonna come down here and see the wall.
He's be like, "It's mine. That wall was made for me."
Okay.
Do we want to kill the mummy lord?
No.
Like I feel
I
like
still think we should try and get through here and see if we can get around. If these chambers connect, get to it without going through the first area.
Raazu is still very severely injured.
join the club.
I think this door required just brute force to get open.
I'm just concerned about conserving my stuff for mummy rot. In case anyone
this is a
gets
great
out of it.
stone door that would open inward. It just looks like it would, like Raazu and Adrex should be able to push this open.
Okay. Up we go.
On it.
With some effort and some groaning, you do manage to put the door open and reveal the room beyond.
Was that the effort or the groaning?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Raazu kind of steps inside.
There's a
shines
path in
light
front of you,
around.
and then one leading off to the left from this room.
Guess we head left.
I'll see why not.
I mean,
This is a bizarre, very unnatural looking tunnel. You see clumps of broken stone that's kind of still shedding like scales from the sides, where some of this brick and mortar work had been done, but it's just kind of sloughed away from the wall. So there's just piles of rubble nearby, flecks of mortar, and it's much dustier than most of the places you've seen so far in this tomb.
On second thought, perhaps we should make sure that nothing else is going to come behind us on here. What do you think?
I think
Raazu,
we can
I'm
at least
sure-
check to see if that connects.
I'm sure there are plenty of things that can come behind us from any angle here.
Coming around here, looking to the right, you see another set of double doors. However, these ones are barred in a very peculiar way. You see a beautiful golden statue holding the door closed. It's a stout but bulky dwarf in armor with a great beard and a great horned helmet and a huge shield emblazoned upon its back. And that's the first thing you notice about the statue, is the detail on this shield. Very intricate, done with golden filigree. And he's braced against the floor with his boots and pressed his two great mailed hands against the door as though to hold it closed.
The door swings inward.
Would
so that-
swing inward.
Yeah, so the statue's going to block. Huh?
so
The detail
Raazu-
on this statue is, like I said, extremely intricate. And
Raazu strokes her chin for a second and says, why the hell are Southlings so far north? Like, why are the Southlings this far north? How long has the wall been there anyway?
who are you asking?
Just
The dwarf?
She's kind of just musing out loud to herself.
He doesn't have anything to say on the subject.
Birdie like grabs Wendy's sleeve,
Yeah.
sleeve, and pulls it, and then points at the Legend Lore stone and points at, like, I remember you Legend Lord something, and then points at the statue, and you saw somebody turning into a gold statue. It was like an angel-looking woman, I do believe, if my memory is not failing me.
Yeah, my memory, Nodal's memory, is failing me, but I think so.
You guys
I think
did find a golden angel statue lower in the ladder dungeon.
Yeah.
Right, that was in the
That's
house
what
of,
it was. Yes.
The
thank
house
you.
of in the house of
She-
music.
Was she elven? I can't remember.
She had very elven features,
Had elven features. That's what it was.
but what belied her as an elf were the great angelic wings that came off her back.
Huh.
Raazu, did you
So-
take a hit at a healer's kit?
I already have. Yeah, I don't
Alright.
have to wait to take a long rest in order to do another
Yeah,
one.
that's what I was.
So Wendy will look towards Birdie and then say, "Do you think they were trying to hold the door closed so that something couldn't get through, and then they got turned to gold?"
Birdie will shrug and then scowl because he realizes you can't see the shrug, and then looks at Red and shakes his head no.
Birdie says no. Raazu shrugs and looks at this and then says, "Okay, well, at the very least, looks like nothing hostile is going to be coming from this, so we're safe in that regard."
Birdie,
Yeah, and
coming
we
this
wanna
close
get-
to the statue and getting around, you can see the look on the dwarf's face. And this very strained look. You can see even the individual veins on his arm with the great effort of strength keeping this door shut. And you see on the side of his head, from his brow all the way down to his chin, where his head has been split viciously with some kind of attack. Maybe like if Adrex were to strike a blow with a great axe, could deal this kind of wound. And you see the drops of blood forming on his chin and his beard. That's how intricate this statue is. The individual drops have been rendered in gold.
Huh.
Birdie, you see on the side of the statue that you're full of shit. And don't know what's going on. Now the question is, does Birdie tell us, and if so, how?
Yeah, how does Birdie point
Tell
this
us
out?
what? Like, how am I full of shit? Like, I didn't say no. I just was trying to shrug.
You just shook your head no.
I shook my head and I know. I shrugged and then shook my head no because I realized you can't. Like, it's very difficult to communicate with a blind person when you can't speak. I don't know if you've noticed this.
That was the introduction of one of the Saw movies, actually. Birdie's trying to figure out, like, okay, so if this thing's gold all the way through, it's ethical to sell it.
No,
But if you go in, there's like a dwarf corpse inside, then it's not ethical. That's what he's wrestling.
Yeah.
Until you peel that dwarf right out there.
Yeah,
Okay,
Raazu
so-
watches Birdie look this thing over real intricate and comes
Brick-
up behind him.
You're making a joke, but I was about to take a knife out and try to peel away the gold.
Raazu, coming up, what strikes you is the heraldry on the shield. Hobgoblins and whatnot, especially not orcs, don't have a tradition of heraldry, but you're somewhat familiar with it, having lived that close to the wall and having fought skirmishes against the Southlings. And the heraldry on the back of the shield depicts a pair of dice, two six-sided dice. And on each face of the die has 6 pips, and each of the pips are rendered in a different image.
Raazu cocks her head at that and says, "I don't think I've ever seen heraldry. I've seen heraldry before of the Southlands, but that's something new to me. I haven't seen
I'll let
anything
you
like
make
that.
a
Raazu."
DC 30 knowledge history check to see how much you actually know about Southling heraldry.
Can't
but-
make that.
Yeah, it's
Can't make that.
It's actually Eldov's new heraldry. It's just a bunch of D6s from a fireball.
Raazu goes into her pack, pulls out the charlatan's dice,
Mhm.
and kind of turns them over in her hand.
And
Dice.
Trying
the
to
pips on
match
your
up
dice,
the-
first of all, they depict numbers 1 through 6. The dice on these shields, on the shield, does not. All the sides are 6s, and they're all different symbols. You see, one is made up of tulip blossoms, another is made up of stylized suns, etc.
You can only see 3 sides of the dice at once.
All right,
Wards.
well, if nothing's made it through, like this dwarf clearly wanted to keep this door shut. And if
Birdie,
nothing has
try and-
managed to make it through the door yet, then it'll probably stay shut for some amount of time. So we should check the other way before we come back here.
Right. Before we go, though, Birdie, try and shave off a little bit of gold. See if... Because I'm really concerned that this isn't just a statue, but a man who has turned into a gold statue.
What are Adrex and Red doing back there while they're examining the statue?
Scratching his butt.
Yeah, Red's not doing anything of importance. He might move over to here and try and keep an eye out on the other passage.
Okay, Adrex, roll me a perception check. At disadvantage because... Oh, no, never mind. Raazu's got a light source there, so no disadvantage.
It's a 5.
Super nice statue, but you're not an expert on dwarves, so...
No, sir, I am not.
Then Raazu, like, she thinks for a minute, and then says, "Wait, belay that, because I'm remembering a statue of a woman in the Underdark that looks like it may have turned someone else to gold. I don't think we should do that."
I mean, this is definitely, absolutely a dwarf who has been turned to gold. Like, that is without question.
Yeah. I'm just concerned that it might be the same kind of curse that turned another. Because remember, there was the guy that was trying. There was a guy that was trying to, I guess, grab this statue of this woman. He got turned to gold, and then there was the goblin that was trying to shave off chunks of him. So I'm not.
So, do you think they were horrified?
Yes.
They were what?
Horrified. That would be the term for turning someone to gold. Like,
Right.
It's the equivalent to petrification, but for gold.
So, to be clear,
Petrification is where they turn someone into gasoline.
we are officially coining the term orification.
Yeah.
Okay.
Orification.
Stutters a few more times.
God, that's a real word. What?
Right.
The Magic the Gathering card, apparently, too.
Oh, that's how Destil knew it. Okay.
I mean, Adrex is Adrex.
Yes, he is. I like that sentence.
He's gonna stumble over big words. You gotta give him a
No,
moment.
you gonna come with the rest of the group?
No, there are no Baba as you
Hallway.
paradoxes with Adrix.
Okay, yeah, coming around the corner, you see again this this tunnel that it looks natural in the sense that it's not done up in brickwork. Like I said, you see all the rubble and debris laying around where the bricks clinging to walls have been shaken loose and crumbled. But neither does it look natural in the sense that it's a natural cave.
Okay, well, let's go, I guess.
The wound that you described on that dwarf's face, Raazu, did it look like a mortal wound?
Look pretty mortal. I wouldn't want to take a wound to the head like that.
My question is, I'm wondering whether or not that dwarf knew he would be turned to gold and knew that he would be able to hold the door shut. 'Cause
Gold's
it's
pretty
possible
heavy.
the one turning people into gold is one of his allies.
Gold, yes, is pretty heavy.
He's very soft, though.
It was a willing orification.
What that means is we would need a super soft to turn him back.
Coming into this room, don't remind me I got to finish playing that boring ass game this week. Coming into this room, it's not boring. It's I just played it like a year ago. I don't want to play it
He's
right
gonna
now.
get some assets for it, right?
Coming into this room, a large circular stone chamber. Again, the walls here, you see where at one point, you see where at one point the room might have been intended to be octagonal with solid flat walls, but something has disturbed a lot of that brickwork, and just piles of rubble laying everywhere along the walls. In the floor and ceiling of this room, you see gigantic circular holes, one looking straight down, and then another one above it, some 15 or 20 feet in the apex of the domed roof of this ceiling, a similar hole leading upwards.
Looks like we found our way up and out. Maybe. Raazu approaches. Looks up the hole. Looks up the shaft.
And looking down the shaft, it just disappears into darkness below.
And upward?
Looking upward, it disappears into darkness above.
Is this like natural darkness or?
Yeah, natural darkness, just
Okay.
because of distance and lack of light.
I love that that's a question we have to ask.
It's like
So is it dark because it's a hole, or
So do you think we...
is it normal darkness or the kind of darkness that grabs you and tries to pull you down into a well?
Do we
Do you have
try
extra
to-
torch, Adrex? Actually, I think I might have an extra torch.
Raazu might have extra
I just-
torches.
Yeah, I gave them all to Raazu, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I got some torches. Raazu goes and lights one and hands it to Red.
Yeah, I'll drop it.
You drop it.
I'll
after-
throw it towards the middle so I can see. Like, hopefully it doesn't just clatter along the edge if it curves immediately or anything.
Okay. And after a moment, you hear it clatter far below you. And you see that it's landed in the first room in the complex that
That's
you
what I
entered.
thought.
The large rectangular
far down
room
was-
with the stone or with the hole in the ceiling.
How far down was that?
How far down was that?
Yeah.
Quite a distance. Because you guys climbed many, many stairs to get up this high, and most of a ladder.
Okay.
How high is the ceiling in this room?
It varies, 15 to 20 feet at the highest point, and in the center of the ceiling, right above this hole, is another hole leading upward.
Alright, so do we deal with the with that powerful mummy now, or do we take a break and try to deal with it later?
We've got the door, the mummy, and trying to find a way to scale up this hole.
Yeah.
Pick. I feel like probably shouldn't try and scale the ceiling until we're rested. I feel like
Yeah.
we don't want to rest until we've dealt with the mummy.
You
Feel
also
like
had
we
some
should-
stuff from last week that you said you were going to go back and revisit.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh right, the slab. I remember the slab. So
Yeah, so let's go ahead and backtrack through here. Back down the stairs here.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll stay right behind Raazu just in case her tile gets away from me.
Alright. Save this one here. Where are you guys headed to?
One floor down. I
One
think
floor
was where
down?
yeah.
Back down to the maze floor?
Okay, and I think we already. Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah, I
we
feel like
already
we've explored this one pretty
pretty
thoroughly.
thoroughly.
Let's check 2 floors down.
Okay.
So 1 from
Yeah.
here.
I think it was like right here. It was those this.
Yeah, that's right. All the what you call it's in that area.
Like we were
So
gonna
come
have
down
to
here.
do some work.
Some excavation work.
Do some work or do some burning. And now that we've found kind of like where that air is coming from, I feel better about the burning plan. I don't.
Oh, I had the map upside down. That makes more sense.
So,
See, who
what do you
we
guys think? We
missing?
try to just burn some of these roots out?
We don't have a windy. Do we have a windy? Where's a windy?
Oh, Wendy's.
There's a windy. Oop, there. you
So yeah, the closer you get to the back wall of this room, the more difficult it becomes because of the tangles of the branches coming out of the stone.
I remember we were gonna have to do some kind of excavation work to
Yeah.
free up a like a metal plate or something.
Birdie
That
came
or we
across
were
a
gonna
metal
burn
plate that it looked like some of these roots had grabbed and was latching down towards to the ground.
I think the burning strategy is a good strategy,
I guess. Okay, well, I guess we should try and start.
rather than exhaust ourselves trying to move the roots.
Okay, how are you going
burning's
to
gonna
burn it?
burning's gonna take a while.
I'm willing to sacrifice a couple of my arrows. Lighting them up and then shooting them in there.
I don't have enough oil to burn all this. Do you?
I have some. I don't know that I have. Well, I'm hoping that the roots will catch and then spread. I'm not planning on pouring oil on all the roots.
Think maybe you should like put the accelerant as the forensic investigators call it. The accelerant in the air, like in the areas close to the edges of the plate.
Right.
Remind
So
me how close we are to the Shadowfell little hidey hole place. Like, is that multiple days' journey from here? Up a cliff that we threw a rock? Am I remembering that right?
There's a hole in the floor back here that you guys climbed up to get to here, and yeah, there was a couple of days' journey through caverns and tunnels between here and there,
Yeah.
with a considerable amount of climbing.
Raazu, I'm in agreement with you. We kind of spread the oil around the less easily spreadable spots, and then the air should whoosh in and spread up the rest of the flames. And if it doesn't, then the burning was never going to work as a strategy anyway. So we'll either know or we won't.
Okay, so where are you placing the oil in relation to this metal slab?
So the slab's like right over here, right?
Yeah, it was in where the branches and roots are thickest, and Birdie observed that it looked as though two of these roots had grabbed up and pulled it downward in such a way to actually cause the metal of the slab to warp.
Raazu, you were saying, I just want to make sure we're on the same page, like kind of here and here, and let it spread.
Well, I think applying it directly to the roots that are holding the plate down would be the best.
Yeah, I would.
Because that's true. Because we don't need to get rid of all the roots. We just need to get rid of the roots.
Parts.
So yeah, I think we just kind of spray this area.
Okay.
Kind of long.
Who's doing this work?
I mean, you said I was the only one that could fit in there, so
You're the only one who can fit down in there, but anybody else could climb up on top and look down into the roots as well. You can get up on top of this mass of tangled roots.
I mean, if we're burning specific roots, it would probably have to be Birdie.
Okay.
Yeah, Birdie, I'll hand you. I have a couple of bottles of oil that you can use for the purpose. Let me know whether I need to remove one or two.
Well,
what's Raazu doing right now?
Raazu is just there providing Birdie with backup.
Birdie, when you climb in to pour this oil, Raazu is climbed partially up on top of the roots above you, and the light from her torch flickering down allows you to see colors and details on the metal slab. And you realize what you're looking at is not a door or a plate, but a huge kite shield. And adorning it, you see the same kind of heraldry that you saw on the dwarf upstairs, although the shield is considerably larger. This is the kind of huge rectangular shield that you could like hide behind.
Same kind of dice motif?
Yes, except this time Birdie sees the brilliant colors adorning it. The shield is in bad repair because these roots have warped and crushed it down, but you do see the same dice bearing the same symbols.
Is there any like gems or other semi-precious things that I could pry out of it without having to set fire to anything?
No, but looking down, you do see that underneath the shield, crushed to the floor by these roots, is a bundle of something, bundled up in cloth, that will burn.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's not do that.
Alright, like, it's just
Maybe
crushed to the ground, like, I can't, like, get, like, a lasso around it and pull it out? Like do the whole, where you bend a metal coat hanger and just kind of grab it and pull it out?
And tug at it?
Yeah. I don't,
I
obviously...
might be able to pry up the shield a little bit and give you some space to reach down in there and grab it, like maybe with a crowbar or something.
The bundle looks rather large. Like, it looks like it's... I mean, it's too big to grab with a coat hanger and drag out.
I know, but I don't have a coat hanger, so I was just I was just to give you the idea of the motion that I was thinking of doing.
Gotcha.
Here's what I'm thinking that you try is like I use like a crowbar or something, like pull off in like this direction, and like give you the space to reach down in there and grab that. Would that be feasible?
How heavy does the bundle look?
It's difficult to say because he can only see part of it from this vantage point. It's being pressed down to the ground underneath the pressure of this shield and these roots that are latched onto it.
Do we have an axe?
We have...
Hand axes, which won't
Can
We
we
don't
just
have, like, a
hack
wood
through
cutting
the
axe.
roots and move the shield?
Okay,
We
all
don't-
right. So I have an idea, but it would be expending a scroll, and it would depend on Burkroad's good interpretation of the rules. So what do you think?
I have an idea as well that doesn't depend on that. So let's try that first.
Right.
Now, let's
So
be
that we can at
clear.
least-
Everybody's ideas always depend on my interpretation of the rules.
No, but it doesn't depend on a scroll. So this will at least give us some more information as to how heavy that bundle is.
Okay.
I say we have Raazu hold up the shield, and then I'll cast Gust and try to push the bundle out from under it.
Okay. Raazu, with considerable work, you can... I mean, you'd have to doff your armor and set your weapons and pack aside. And work your head and torso and arms down into this tangle of roots so that you're upside down in order to get your arms into a position where you can grab the corners of this shield and try to wrench it upward.
Okay.
And this will be very uncomfortable, and if your friends decide to walk away, you will likely be stuck here.
How humorous.